situated.
No, go ahead. Make you feel comfortable.
So I think what makes me me is that is how I'm genuine and that my work ethic, because a lot of people nowadays, I feel like they're so caught up in social media or, you know, just the web, just in general, that they forget who they are, what made them unique in their way too. And then it doesn't become genuine because now you're faking or you're copying somebody else, you know, persona, and not your own. So that's why for the longest of time, even right after high school, up until I actually went into business for myself, a lot of it really, like, I wasn't on social media like that. You know, it was a really big gap for me to take a break, to find out who I was, what I was meant to be doing, and things like that, and me to not, you know, fake who I was for people that don't even really know me, if that makes any sense. But then it's like that. And then, like, also too, I guess the work ethic is because, like, a lot of people, like, they know me, but then, like, some people, they just think they know me. And I think the work ethic of me, like, me even coming to, like you said, me coming to this, me doing the things that I need to do, it's just like, okay, he works hard to get where he's trying to go. And a lot of people, they don't have that either, because they feel like I said, because of social media and web, they feel like a lot of things should be given to them. So, you know, I hope they make it. I hope, you know, whoever, you know, sees this, I hope they, you know, do the things they need to do to get on the right track. But, you know, you gotta be yourself. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be yourself, and you really gotta keep working hard at being yourself and getting the things that you want out of this life, because we only have one. So.
Yeah, exactly. And everything, like how you said, like, your work represents who you are. It's like every time you do something, that you leave a little piece of you, in a way you create a legacy of the type of person that you're gonna, you know, leave when you, like, you know, like, literally leave in the literal sense. And I mean, that's really good, because again, not a lot of people understand that, because they haven't really have the need to do that as well. And that's where, you know, we look back to our struggles, like why it's happening to us, but if it wasn't for that, then we wouldn't be in the situation that we are, you know, thanks to all that things. Because I was, the other day, I studied psychology on in my free time. I just love it. And, you know, they talk about, like, a lot of the traumas, they kind of define you, you know, and it's like everything, like the way that your parents treat you, and that's kind of the type of attachments that you have and everything. And at first I was like, why, like, you know, I tried to be a good person, like, why my parents were the way they were, my family, you know, the stuff. And it's like, in a way, because of that, I had to readapt myself to every situation, because everybody was different. Everybody would treat me differently, you know. Like, I remember one thing that the other day, I mean, I didn't understand it until the other day, when they were saying, like, oh yeah, auntie was kind of bad on you, like, mean on you. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then I went back and thinking, like, I remember one time this cup of glass broke, and she made me, you know, mop the floor. I had to, like, of course I had to, like, broom it, but then, you know, there's still particles and, like, pieces of glass, and I was just, you know, squishing the mop and everything. I was thinking, like, that's kind of messed up, you know, because I remember I got caught. But, like, I didn't think of that until later on, when they were like, you know, but at the same time, that didn't stop me. I wasn't going, even though I felt something and I was like, oh fuck, I'm getting cut, I still continue cleaning, and I make sure that everything was, you know, right. And that, again, that's kind of like hard work and determination, because even though I was in that situation that I didn't want to be in, so I know deep down I need to finish it, because I already started it, and they were, you know, I was told to do. So yeah, it's weird, because it's like you can either decide, like, you know, if that's gonna help you or not, because again, like, understanding that people don't have that type of work ethics that you do, that makes you already different, you know, unique, because it's like you're not trying to follow the same rocket job that everybody else is doing. You're trying to you know, stand out from everybody else, and that's kind of what makes you, like, even, you know, it makes you like the kind of photographer you are. Like, people are just like, oh, like, you know, his shit is amazing. Like, even your work really shows, you know.
Thank you.
So that's really good, that, you know, you take something good out of it, and, like, you know, reinforce every day, like, okay, I have to make sure that I do that. Like, even today, like, I was like, this man really is about this, and I loved it. I was like, okay, because I mean, I'm up early. Like, I wasn't here, actually. I had to, like, you know, come from those other house, but it was like, yeah, like, I'm glad that, you know, you were, like, the kind of person that, like, hey, like, let's figure this out, let's make sure that it's some time and stuff, because a lot of people don't really care. They just kind of, like, you know, I show up. They kind of show up late, or like
Yeah.
you know, just like 15 minutes early, maybe.
Yeah.
That's strange, you know.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know, it shows because again, if you do that for this, that means you do this for your other, you know, other parts of your life, which is good, you know. So that's really good.
Yeah, because it's I think it's like a thing with certain people though.
Mm-hmm.
Like some people, you know, you've been, and like even with like your auntie when you tell me about that, it's like she had a mindset of like, you know, me just looking outside in, you know, she had a mindset of okay, getting it done and sparing one for the others, if that made any sense. So like if you were to get cut, you know, she'd protect everybody else from getting cut if they were to, you know, if they were to go in there without shoes or anything like that. And even though it was kind of harsh, you know, it made you think, or it made you the person that you are, because you were just doing what you had to do to get it done the right way.
Yeah.
You know, and I tell a lot of people, I even tell a lot of people I work with that are in business and that should already know it. But doing something and doing something in the right way are two different things.
Yeah.
And, you know, especially like for that instance when the cup broke and stuff like that, yeah, maybe like her words were a little harsh or like her actions were a little harsh. But I think she came from a standpoint to where she was like, okay, look, you did this, you have to take responsibility in this, and let's just do it right. And if you get hurt, well, you still kind of, it wasn't like, okay, you brought it on yourself because it was an accident, but it was just a thing of like, okay, let's just get it done and do it the right way. So let's go ahead and sweep it and then mop it. And then, you know, if you have to squeeze it that way, then squeeze it that way, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. And I just feel like, you know, that made you think a little bit more and made your work ethic a little bit more because, like I said, now you're trying to do things the right way.
Yeah.
And even thinking back to that, like you thinking back to that, and you're applying what happened there in every other, you know, circumstance or situation that you face coming up, because now you have that as a reference. Okay, let me just go ahead and get this done and do it right. That way I don't have to go back and sweep again. You know what I'm saying? Because you did everything up front.
Right.
And that's I mean, like I said, it's a two-way street on that, but you know, for the most time, you know, I think everything was I guess okay. You know, at the end of the day, I think everything was fine, and it made you into a better woman. You know, it was raising you to be a better woman, because I'm sure like if you were to have like kids or anything and like they break something, you want to teach them a lesson like, hey, even if it's an accident, sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do to get to where you need to be. Or, you know, like you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just trying to, you know. So, you know, I think things like when we grow up, you know, especially coming from our family or our closest friends, we take those things and we apply them to every other situation in our life. And, you know, hopefully it goes a better way than what it would have if we did not go through those things. Yeah. You know, and it's crazy. It's crazy because we don't think about those things until after they've happened, at a way later time. So
yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, again, like it could be like little things that just kind of like get to you, like it kind of like you just ponder ponder in your minds and stuff. And it just kind of like I feel like sometimes they do come to you just to like to teach you like, hey, like maybe there's something that you have to, you know, revisit, you know, and get that lesson that you didn't get. Because again, like when things happen to you twice, it's because you didn't learn the lesson once, you know. So what would you say is like when it comes to your passion, you know, like because it's like you're passionate about photography and stuff, but like
I think my passion doesn't lie within photography, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I think my passion lies within just the creative aspect of all things.
Yes.
Like it's not more of the destination with me, it's more of the process. It's like I'd rather spend all day doing the work and doing it the right way and taking a longer period of time to get something done right than me to just actually have a finished product that's not right. Yeah. And I apply that to photography. I apply that to design. I apply that to really anything. And like I said, it's just my passion is literally the creative aspect of everything. And, you know, I put that in photography because that was the first thing that, you know, that I actually got recognition for. And I just took it and I ran with it. And, you know, I just did it that way. But as I grow, you know, I don't want to be like, as far as like business, I don't want to be a photographer for 10 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do want to have those credentials underneath me as if I had 20 years, 30 years of photography experience. But I think at the end of the day, when I get to where I need to be, to where I can put somebody else on and let them start to get the experience and them to, you know, find their way and see if that's what they really want to do with the rest of their life.
Mm-hmm.
Because me helping myself, yeah, that's good. And I want to help myself to where I can help somebody else, because
Yes.
it's nothing like, you know, you being such a big guru in some subject or some field, and like you're very experienced, and then you see somebody over there struggling with something, and you don't help them,
Yeah.
and it's like, you know, I understand, like even some people in Atlanta, California, New York, where the big mega cities,
Mm-hmm.
You have to pay them to get, you know, game. Not everybody gives free game, but I
Yeah.
also feel like, you know, if somebody, first of all, they can't afford it, or they're too young to even really know, you know, to know that they're doing something wrong,
Mm-hmm.
or, you know, just any other circumstance, you should tell them, hey, let's try it this way. You may get a different result. I can see that you're frustrated from how these things are going. Well, let's go in and kind of switch it up and switch the method. And you don't have to give them, you know, every inch of game that you have, but I feel like just putting them in a better direction, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I'm trying to work towards, especially in the creative field, is just trying to learn as much as I can, you know, up until the point to where people are looking up to me,
Mm-hmm.
and then start putting other people on and leading them into the right direction. That way they have a chance at life too. Because
Yeah.
nobody wants to be, I mean, a 9 to 5 isn't bad. You know, a regular traditional job is not bad, but nobody wants to be at a job that they feel like they're not appreciated at if they know they have a better solution.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
so like I said, I think, you know, my passion is more of the creative side and trying to learn and put
Mhm.
somebody else on rather than just photography.
Yeah. I
So
agree. I mean, now that you said that, like, you know Manuela Muda?
yeah, I actually messaged her last night.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, she I think she hit me up saying something about she wanted to be one of the models for me, but
Yeah.
then I think I don't know.
Yeah, because she's really, like, actually she you know, she has this and
Mhm.
everything. She was just telling me about, like, hey, like, you know, I can help you set up,
Mhm.
because it's gonna be like the producer director or something like that for my thing. But yeah, I was telling like, oh, I'm gonna, you know,
Mhm.
do
Yeah.
a podcast with you, and so, oh my god, like, you know, I know his work, he's really good
Yeah.
at his stuff, like, I wish I could learn more for him.
Yeah.
Like, she was telling me that, you know, but that's kind of her idea as well. She wants to create a school to
Mhm.
help people, to teach them, like, the
Mhm.
creative part of life,
Yeah.
and like just kind of empower them to be, you know, whoever they
Yeah.
want to be. And I don't know, like, her vision is amazing. Like,
Yeah.
if you,
Yeah.
you know, if you really get the chance to, like, talk to her, and like you can see how woke she is. Like, I know that sounds funny, but
Yeah.
she's just kind of like the kind of person, like, she wants you to win. You know, she
Yeah.
wants you to, like,
Yeah.
because I started, you know, I used to do modeling in school and stuff like that,
Mhm.
but I not forgot, but I just kind of, like, took my step away from it, and then she
Yeah.
got me back into it. Like, I was like, you know what, if I can do this, I can do
Yeah.
that, and she has a great vision. I'm telling you
Mhm.
that whenever, like, you're with her, you know that anything is possible when it
Yeah.
comes to your dreams. And
Mhm.
I don't know, she's just like the person to, like, just to, like, be surrounded by, or just to
Yeah.
teach, because she's
Yeah.
gonna make sure to, whatever you teach her, she's gonna teach somebody else. You know,
Mhm.
and that's
Exactly.
the great thing about her. So if you have the chance, you know, it would be, you know, cool to, like,
Yeah.
just kind of, like, give her, like, some tips and stuff, because she is really, really passionate
Yeah.
about photography and modeling and stuff. And also, you know, the thing about modeling for her is that if she becomes a better model, then she also becomes a better photographer.
Yeah,
So she's
exactly.
able to not only see it from that perspective, but this other one. So
Mhm.
I don't know, it's just really cool, because again, like, it's all about teaching people. Knowledge
Mhm.
is really the power, because I think even when we look at every aspect of life, like economically, emotionally, and physically, or, you know,
Mhm.
anything, it just all comes to, like, just understanding, educating yourself.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
Yeah.
when you understand, like, the importance of lighting,
Yeah.
then the whole thing changes.
Right,
You
yeah,
know?
exactly,
Yeah, it's
exactly.
as simple as that. So it's like we don't really think, like, because it becomes automatic for us, you know.
Mhm.
So it's like when somebody else that's just trying to get that, and it's like, oh, you know, I haven't really done it because I don't know why it's not working. It's like, dude, just put the lighting in, and then
Yeah.
boom.
Yeah.
And not from that, they have, like, oh, like, this clientele and
Yeah,
stuff. And
yeah.
it was just that one tip that helped them. Like, you can.
Yeah.
That's a power. I think that's also, like, crazy thing. It's like knowledge really, it's impact, because you might give somebody a tip, and that might be basically like like the keystone of like their success, you know. And it all goes back to you. Like you were able to like now kind of like plant that seed and then let that sprout. And now this person can like think back, you know, eventually they're gonna think back to you and be like, wow, like this person really helped me be where I am today. And I think that's just so beautiful, because again, like even conversations like this kind of like, because hearing your perspective, and you know, it's always like it helps me to also understand life even better, you know, because now I have it from all areas, you know, in that way. So it's just really cool. But yeah, so what else would you like to talk? I know, like it feels like we already have the book here, because I was at the because I started doing this thing the other day. I don't know if you like want to do it, but basically we started as like the pre-podcast, and I just continue as a podcast.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, because I was thinking about doing the podcast as like just let's join in instead of like let's get deep, because because you know we started the conversation before introduction and just kind of like go at it. Yeah. But so what would you say is like one of the hardest thing about this whole process that you know you've been going through when it like focusing on doing this, the creative part?
I think the biggest thing is believing in yourself. Not really worrying about who supports you if you already support yourself, and stay above the learning curve. Because I think and it wasn't so big. I wasn't too big off, oh, if you don't support me, I don't support you. Right. If I'm a fan, I'm a fan regardless if you support me or not. There are people that I don't know, that don't even know, well, that I don't personally know, or they don't even know I exist, that I'm a fan of, just because they produce good work. And then also too is, you know, like I said, the learning curve has been a very, very big help for me, is because I spent so many days and nights, and it's been really hard because I've been trying to find like my style, and you know, more or less people, they know me for like my headshots, beauty headshots, professional headshots, things like that, and I've actually gotten published for those things specifically. Oh, wow. But it's really because of just, like I said, the learning curve. You know, you take so much time trying to get even the smallest details right, so it can be right. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, and then, you know, even on top of that too, when you think you've learned enough, you haven't learned nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like you think, okay, I think I got this now. But then like you see this and you're just like, how did you do, you know what I'm saying? And it makes you wonder, it makes you, okay, what am I doing wrong?
Right.
Okay, let me try to go back over this method. Let me try to see if I got everything right. And so it ends up being wrong. And then you're like, okay, look, I need to take more time. I need to study it. I need to make sure this is my craft, because if I'm going to be doing this for the next couple of years, I have to make sure that my quality of work, my professionalism is right for my clients. And that was, like I said, it's the learning curve. The learning curve will always be the biggest thing for people, and that can be the biggest downfall for people, and that can be the biggest, you know, thing that can help people, you know, uplift themselves and get their name and brand out there. And a lot of people, like from where I'm from, they don't do photography the way I do it. Even people that started before me, and I have a couple of friends, you know, which is Shine, Cooley, and, you know, some others that started before I did. And, you know, I wouldn't say that, oh, I'm just better than them, but I can say that my photography stands out from the crowd, from where I'm at, you know, because I have my eyes on different things than what they had their eyes on.
Yeah, and that doesn't make you any better. It just makes you different.
Yeah, it just makes me different.
It comes back to being a unique. Yeah.
And so, you know, I want to say, like, a lot of the times people, they don't understand that sometimes that standing out is the best thing you can do, you know, and there's a such thing as standing out in a bad way and good way. And I want to say, like, first of all, you will definitely stand out if you're literally copying somebody's work. That's just like, you know, doing anything, like you're basically copying, pasting something, and it's not your actual work. I want to say, you know, just to stand out in a good way and make it your own unique touch. And that's why I say go back into being genuine and, you know, work ethic, and it'll be a little harder on, you know, starting up, but, you know, the end game will be everything that you wanted. You know what I'm saying? Everything that you work towards. But yeah, it's definitely hard, you know, the learning curve, you know, just because they don't support you, support yourself. Because really that's big too. Supporting yourself, because even like a lot of times, like if you get discouraged, you got to remember, like, why am I doing this? You know what I'm saying? Like, why am I really doing this? You know, if I'm here, okay. If I'm already here, it can either get two ways. It can get worse or it can get better. If I keep working, I know it will get better. Yeah, you know, exactly. if I don't keep working, I know it will get worse. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to pick your poison.
Yeah, you know? True. I agree. Because, I mean, that's what I was telling my friend the other day. I was like, if you work every day, there's no way you're not gonna improve. Like, exactly. I think there was this one person that I interviewed the other day. He was telling me that, you know, he weighed a lot before, and then he was like, but you know, I need to change my life because of my health and stuff. And he said that he started doing 1 push-up, and at first his goal was 15 push-ups, but you know, his body only did 1. So like for 3 days he was like 1, okay, I'm done. 1, you know, I'm done. 1, I'm done. And then the 4th day he did 2, and he was like, whoa, okay, I'm getting there. And then, you know, it slowly got better. But it's like, even though like that little step seemed like nothing, it's like, what is it 1 push up or sit up is gonna really do? And you know, it did change because eventually his body got used to it, because it was like, look, we have to adapt to this because this is gonna be the reality of him right now, you know. And I think that's also the importance of having, and like, you know, again, having that determination and, you know, that work ethic, because as you work through things, you get better there, you know, like, you know, okay, so the lighting didn't work, so we're gonna try this other thing, or the camera didn't work, so we're gonna try this other thing, or, you know, and stuff like that. Because it's like, we're all about, like, unconsciously we all try to improve, and, you know, like our brain just trying to find new solutions to things. Correct. You know, and that's the amazing thing about us. And I think that's why we have to, you know, stop letting ourselves down. Like, again, you have to be your own supportive. You have to like, hey, like, you know, you got this, you know, you believe in you and stuff like that. And it sounds silly to some people, like, just to be kind of telling yourself that, but it's something you have to, because again, you're kind of like in this journey, only you can truly see that vision. You know, you can show people a little bit of you want, like, what you might, the idea that you might have, but they will never fully see it. And then, like, you know, decisions that you make are based on the fact that you want to reach that goal. So, and it's like, again, people might not, you know, look at it and like, that doesn't make sense. But it's like, as long as you know that it makes sense to you, then it's like, it's like having that reason why, in a way, you know, because like when you make decisions based on that, everything just kind of, it's aligned, you know. And you don't really need like nobody's approval, validation, because again, you understand that deep down you make that decision because you knew it was the right one. So you don't have somebody else to tell you, you know, like, or, you know, doubt your own, you know, the way that you think. And because when you have that passion within you, anything is possible, you know, because it's like the dream, it's gonna haunt you anyway, so might as well, you know, start like getting at it and stuff like that. So aside from you, like, who can you say is like the greatest, like, supportive or inspiration?
I want to say inspiration wise, because okay, how I take inspiration is from when you first started to where you are now. Yes. And like I said, I'm always about the progress. I'm more about the journey than the destination. And, you know, seeing a lot of creatives, I'm just talking about in the aspect of photography right now, or, you know, even work ethic. You know, it's this one guy, his name is Rari Films, and that's his user handle on Instagram. And I've seen him when he first started up, you know, it was kind of like, okay, you know, I see where you're going with this, but it could be better. You know what I'm saying? Because even for myself, even though I was an amateur as well, it was like, I know you have the potential to do better and greater things. Right. And, you know, as time just went on in these last 2 years, he has progressed to, I want to say, hands down, is the best fashion and beauty photographer in Atlanta. And it's crazy because, like I said, I've seen the progress. You know, if you look at his work compared to others people, and it's just like, dude, it's like, you know, you're always leveling up because there's always, like I said, he's always ahead of that learning curve. He's always supporting himself. You know what I'm saying? He's always working. You know, those things, it really does change a person's life to keep doing those things consistently. Because we can do those things, but if we don't do them consistently, then, you know, we're not really working towards anything. We're just trying to do it just to do it. Exactly. But yeah, he's definitely been the biggest inspiration, just because like I've seen him, you know, on social media from where he first started to where he currently is, and like I said, he's amazing. Yeah. Now as far as like support, I want to say the biggest support that I've had is definitely the guys that I've grown up with since pre-K, literally since pre-K. Wow. And, you know, because they're always constantly either, you know, booking me and they're actually paying the price rather than asking, you know, for a discount. Yeah. And, you know, that's really big, especially in the Black community. I'm not saying it doesn't go on in any other community, but especially in the Black community, you know, we're so used to looking for deals when it comes to other sisters or other brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we don't really take the time out to consider, okay, he has stuff to pay. Right. You know, he has rent, he has children, he has this going on, he's trying to get to this point, and, you know, his price is his price. You know, let me go ahead and pay him. And, you know, for the people who can't afford, okay, if you can't afford, then that's okay. You know, at the end of the day, I can't afford to go out and buy a whole bunch of Balenciaga shoes. I just can't afford that. And it's like, but that's okay because that's not my alley anyway. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So it's like a lot of people, you know, even if you can't afford it at the time, let's just say you have $100, but it's $200. Okay, well, keep doing what you've been doing to get that $100 and get another $100. Put both of them together, it's $200. Then go ahead and pay them. You know what I'm saying? And even though you're working towards that service, it's like at the end of the day, he'll be a lot more appreciated of you coming to him the correct way rather than, oh, bro, let me get this off. You know what I'm saying? Right. Let me get that off. Yeah. You know, it's just, it's really, I'm really grateful for them for doing that because they always book me and it's crazy. They even come down to Atlanta with me sometimes. Like it's crazy. And they still live in the hometown, which is like an hour away. And but yeah, and like I said, even if they didn't do that, even if they still were my biggest supporters, like the thing about it is that even if they kept reposting my stuff, liking my stuff, booking me, if I'm not supporting myself, if I'm not putting forth any actual effort, then it means nothing anyway. Yeah. So, you know, it doesn't matter, you know, you can have the strongest support group, but if you don't support yourself, if you're not doing the things that you need to be doing, then it's all a waste, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And eventually they'll see that. You know, eventually they'll see that, okay, we're like diehard fans for you, but you don't care about us caring for you. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's like, let us back off and, you know, then it gets to be like, oh yeah, you acting wishy-washy or something like that. But it's like, no, bro, it's just, you know, we were there for you, but you weren't there for yourself. Yeah. And we need you to be there for yourself. Like we're there for you because at the end of the day, this was for you. You know what I'm saying? So
they were just helping you, like giving you that tools, but now you have to really use them.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn, that's crazy because my mother actually told me that the other day. Yeah. She was just telling me that, because I try to be like not extra nice with people and stuff, and like I try to, you know, make stuff cheaper. She was like, you have to remember that, you know, that if somebody appreciates it, they're gonna value your work as much as they value you, and they're gonna give that, you know, exactly how much you're worth it. So if you have, you know, you're gonna charge this amount of money for training people, you just let them pay for that because you're worthy of that, and they understand that. And they, you know, they want to help you. Because again, like if you make it cheaper, then you're making yourself you're putting yourself in like in a stream basically. Because now you have to like I have to make, you know, meets, like what is it called, like basically try to meet that amount that you were drinking. Yeah, and now it's like even in that, because again, you're taking your time. You know, your work means your time and your dedication. Again, since you're a very hard worker, you put that extra time. You know, and that's why your work is worth it so much. You know, and I don't know. Like she was just telling me, like I need to like, you know, get on that because if I continue to do that, then all that work, you know, all that support that they're giving me, it's not gonna be worth it because it's just making the process slower. You know, like even though they're there, like they just eventually they can't be always doing the same thing, you know, with that tiny thing. You know, they can always get 1 cent. It's not gonna do it, you know. Yeah. But if you ask for 3, because you know you work 3 cents, then eventually that's gonna add up, and then that's gonna make it closer. Because at the end of the day, when you eat, they eat, you know? Because eventually you're going to help them. Like, when you get to the top, I'm pretty sure you're going to tell your friends, hey, like, you know, let me hook you up. Let me get you network with this guy and this, because I know your potential. And I want to see your rise, you know? And that's the thing. It's like, how you said, like, we need to give ourselves the value that we deserve, you know? And, like, show people, like, hey, like, you know, I understand you're, you know, in a raw situation, but if you can't afford it, again, I understand, but, you know, I can't really put my prices down because again, this is my hard work, you know, and stuff like that. Because I don't know, it's just hard because again, we're used to, even for the Latin community, that's
Yeah.
kind of how it is. Like we, we always like do things for free.
Yeah.
And then that's why we kind of don't progress as much either,
Yeah.
because we understand like the situations are
Yeah.
bad, but again, if you can afford in the first place, then you shouldn't be,
Yeah.
either asking, not
Yeah.
asking, but like kind of doing that. But yeah, I don't know, it's hard because it's like now you have, because again, sometimes people don't understand that and might take it the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a lesson that we all have to do. Like again, like you will pay, if somebody did a jacket for you, that
Yeah.
put extra work, they put the painting and
Yeah.
drawing and everything, you're gonna pay exactly
Yeah.
how it is, because
Yeah.
like damn, this person really, it's that's a piece of art, that they
Yeah.
just did. They put their hard work, their their passion,
Yeah.
their love for it. So it's
Yeah.
like they deserve that, So it's like just how you appreciate somebody else's work, you deserve somebody else to
Yeah.
appreciate your work, just how it is. So I don't know. It's just I feel like we all have to like learn to do that because we're still young, so we're still trying to. Because we were also the one asking people to like like can you try to like, make it?
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's the thing. It's like we all do it, but it's like when we learn what we're doing, then it's like okay, like let me back up,
Yeah.
and then it's like we have to like kind of like also reteach the people around or in our communities about that too. But because at the same time, we all want to help each other. How you said, you want to just make sure that people are good and stuff. So you try to like make it work sometimes.
Yeah.
But again, that's making yourself even harder.
Yeah.
That's just. But I don't know. It's just weird because again, like this is stuff that people don't teach you. Like you have to kind of learn it as you go.
You have to learn as you go.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not like a time limit or like a time frame where you're like, okay, maybe around this time. No, it's just like as you keep trying new things, you start to realizing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because maybe the reason you understood that was because you were placed in a situation where you're like, fuck, like what am I gonna do now?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell this person this and that. Yeah. And what would you tell like just people that are upcoming like artists basically? Because I mean, how you said like you might, it's not only photography, but it's just in all aspects.
Keep working. Don't slow. I want to say, okay, even if it is slow, slow progress is better than no progress.
Yes.
Because if you stop for a second, say, okay, every day you have a platform. You can create your own platform, and maybe it's not a huge platform, but every day as you're posting, as you're working, somebody will see it. And you want to put your all into everything you do, but every day just keep working to get better, because eyes are on you that you never even thought that were on you. You know what I'm saying? And okay, it could be like me, for instance. I'm not gonna give any names out, but there was a specific brand that I wanted to work with. I'm not gonna say I always want to work with, but that I've always kind of skimmed by.
Yeah.
And never even thought they knew I existed or anything like that. Well, I got to the status of being okay in my profession, and I end up emailing them and wanting to work with them because just to do it, just to see if they really needed anything. And it's better to offer something it's better to communicate trying to offer something rather than communicate to trying to get something.
Yes.
So if you ever contact anybody, just say, hey, I can do this for you. You know what I'm saying? Let me provide this to you, because it'll intrigue people a little bit more than I'm contacting you so I can get this amount of money or this amount of, whatever else. Don't do that. But I contacted this company, I made this brand, and I'll be like, hey, I think you would be great to get this from me because it'll help you on this level and this level. Well, they emailed me back like 2 days later, and they were like, well, we've been having our eyes on you for about 3 months now.
Oh, wow.
And this was the girl from the human resources department. And she was like, we've had our eyes on you for about 3 months now, looking at your growth and things like that, as far as like, work ethic, not really too much of social media, but just the way, what you post and how you post it and who you interact with, your credentials and stuff like that. And literally, as soon as we sparked that off, we sparked the conversation, and I got booked.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, it's just those things of, don't give up. You know what I'm saying? Keep going, keep doing what you need to do. And sometimes too, a lot of people, they do let's say, I want to say structured growth is the best, because if you're just growing, you can be growing the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be like, okay, think of this. Think of a tree that's growing, and it's growing so much, or it's growing, it's not, it doesn't have enough structure in the bottom to where it's growing, but then it kind of like limps over.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That means it's growing back into the ground where
Yeah.
it came from, rather than having that structure at the bottom, those roots being really strong, and you keep going up. You know, you want to be like that more than anything, because and you want to grow good. You know, you want to grow in the area that you need to be growing in, because you don't want to get to a place in your life to where you're just like, man, I didn't even want this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You don't
want to
wanna,
regret things.
Yeah, you don't want to regret that, because then, you know, once you start back over, you're literally starting back over.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not fun. It's not fun to start over. Sometimes it's I'm not gonna say 100% of the time it's not fun starting over, because it is sometimes, especially when, you know, you can stick it in people's face and be like, hey, I started over again, and I even got even bigger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes that's fun. That's really fun, but for the most part, I would say try to grow the correct way.
Yeah.
You know, don't do what other people's doing. You know, keep doing what you're doing. Have structured growth, keep working, and you're going to make it to where you need to go.
Right.
So,
because again, it's like you have the vision, so you have to like always kind of like, it's kind of like the horses. You know how the horses have the pads and the thing. Because as long as you're going, you're gonna get to the destination. There's no way, you know. So that's really good. And where can people contact you?
Okay, you can hit me up. Okay, so you can hit me up on Instagram at 95th Studio. That's my handle, 95th, 95THSTUIDIO, 95th Studio. Or you can go to the website, which is 95thstudio.com. You know, just for any photography services, or, you know, if you're looking for any film or any creative thing anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you're doing like any post-production or anything like that, for like you know, you edit this, you know, you do things like that. I actually have a guy, and I do it myself, to where like we work with some creatives that do video editing, and they don't want to. They have a lot going on to where they can't do it. Right. It's like we can take upon that job, and we can create it to your satisfaction.
Wow, that's really impressive.
So, you know, yeah, it's just those little things like that. That's how we get a lot of people, or I get a lot of people to kind of just, you know, interact with, have that relationship with. So.
Right. I mean, it's all what I'm working on, though. Yeah. So that's good. Again, thank you for being here. This was amazing. I can't wait to post this and get people to reach out to you and stuff, because your work is amazing, and I can't wait for you to also help other people, you know, reach their goals, and just kind of in a way, you know, make your dream come true, which is like giving that knowledge. You know? So again, thank you. You're amazing.